2 decades after apartheid, South Africa is growing slower than almost all other African economies. In the past, cheap labour and minerals fueled rapid growth. But according to the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, South Africa was one of the 5 worst performing African economies in the last 5 years. Today, South Africa is one of the most unequal countries in the world, comparable to Honduras, Colombia and Bolivia. We're only slightly better off than Zimbabwe. The National Planning Commission believes that the National Development Plan 2030 could set South Africa on a new path. Once implemented, the NDP could raise employment through faster economic growth, improve the quality of education by fixing our education system, build the capability of state to play a developmental transformative role. The African Futures Project used the International Futures Forecasting System, IFS, to help understand South Africa's current growth path and the feasibility of the NDP 2030 vision. IFS is an integrated assessment model for 183 countries in the world. It connects economic, demographic and other world systems in order to create dynamic, interactive forecasts. IFS forecasts that South Africa will grow at an average growth rate of 3.4% from 2014 to 2030. Other organizations concerned with economic growth expect similar rates of growth. Most analysts believe that this will not be enough to reduce unemployment and inequality. The NDP believes that South Africa needs to achieve an average growth of 5.4% from now until 2030. This is very hard to achieve year after year. Examples of countries that have done exceptionally well include Botswana, Cambodia, China, Hong Kong and South Korea. For South Africa to grow that quickly will require changes to the structure of the South African economy, improvements in its human development, teamwork and committed leadership. Using IFS, we constructed a scenario to achieve the NDP average growth target. We increased foreign direct investment, curbed HIV transmissions and AIDS mortality, reduced corruption, improved education. We also boosted exports and improved information and communications technology. These changes are a part of the NDP and all possible, but difficult. Taken together, these interventions can boost South Africa's average growth rate by about 1.7% per year to roughly 5.4% on average. Per capita income would increase to $15,380 by 2030, which is comparable to what Argentina and Botswana enjoy today. These higher incomes would in turn drive further improvements in education, ICT and more, creating a virtuous cycle of development. Using IFS, we then explored some of the targets set in the NDP for different sectors. They include 90% population access to grid electricity and 100% access to safe water by 2030. We found that these targets are achievable even in the base case of 3.4% average growth. This is a good sign that significant progress towards the future envisioned by the NDP is possible, even in the short term. But to create long-term change and reduce unemployment and inequality, South Africa will need to fully commit to the NDP growth target. Greater investments in the well-being of our people and the structures that sustain them are foundational to the economic growth we need. If we can meet this challenge, it will be an important step toward a positive future for the Rainbow Nation.